in today's video we're going to talk about the arms in the backswing, and I think this is going to be very different from what you're currently doing. Now, one of the things that we're going to look at is Jon Rahm's backswing position. And the main reason for looking at Jon Rahm's backswing position is just because of the functionality of the trail arm. So what we sort of notice with Jon Rahm when he ends up at the top of the backswing is the way that his sort of forearm ends up being, should we say, a little bit more sort of horizontally placed rather than vertically placed, like so. Now, the reason why I quite like that, and the reason why I wanted to share that with you, is because one of the things that I'm always trying to do with a lot of my students is to try and get the arms more connected to the body. And one of the problems I encounter is a lot of golfers kind of associate, well, aren't I supposed to be doing this type of rolling action? And when I then say no, you want to try and use your sort of trail hand to pull your arm closer, then that's when they start doing things like this in this drill, and then they worry whether that's correct, incorrect, is that not a flying elbow? Hence the reason for using Jon Rahm as a visual to say no, it's okay if you move your arm like so, right? Now, one of the best drills that you can practice to ensure that you are doing the correct things in the backswing position is just to grab yourself a bit of rope, okay? So you grab yourself a bit of rope, you lasso it together, you put your lead arm through it, and then you basically take hold of it just with your trail hand. Now, wiggle it around a little bit, okay, so that you basically don't get it stuck. There's a couple of things that we want to do with the functionality of, again, your trail arm. One of the things is that you want to use I'm going to use my right hand to elevate my left arm up, the rope up, right? That's one of the things that we're going to do. The other thing that we're going to basically try and do is we've got to make sure when I swing back that the rope here is staying taut, right? So I don't want to sort of swing back and for this whole thing to be sort of too floppy. So what we want to do is we're going to break it down into two. We want to use the right hand, or my trail hand, to pull my left arm, or this lead arm, close to the chest. Okay, so that's one of the things that we ultimately want to do. Now, the other thing that we need to do is, from this perspective, we need to make sure that the relationship between your forearm and your upper arm, or your lower and upper arm, doesn't get too narrow, okay, like so. So you've got to try and blend both of those together. So what I'm basically saying is you want to start using this hand to pull that lead arm up, and you want to make sure the relationship between your lower arm and your upper arm doesn't get too narrow. And as long as you can do both of those things, then you're going to be producing an athletic and a good backswing position. Now, that's why we tend to see the Rory McIlroy drill being a good drill. This is where you sort of take hold of the club like so. Okay, and we've seen Rory sort of do this in the backswing where he sort of gets into this sort of position, and then in the downswing does a similar sort of thing. But my preferred drill, I like the rope drill, but my preferred drill is if you take hold of the club, put your trail hand underneath, so the back of your hands are facing one another, and then just make some swings back. And just use your trail hand to pull your lead arm up to a position that you feel comfortable with, like so. And if you end up feeling good here, happy with a little bit more sort of external rotation, a little bit more of the wrist, that's fine. What I'm trying to say is we are trying to, if we can get the arms closer to the body in the backswing, keeping them more connected, it'll reduce the rotation of the arms, it'll keep things more connected. And all I'm trying to highlight is it's absolutely fine for your trail arm to start to fold a little bit more this way if it's helping you get the rope drill and that drill correct. And that's what I wanted to share with you. So practice it. You guys can let me know if you've got any questions. I'll see you soon.